Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Punk Rock Review. Crap, 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 crap. That's right, the best crap you'll watch all day. Just kidding. The best crap you'll watch all day. Anyhow, moving straight into it today, we're going to be, kind of talking on a topic that's a point of contention amongst a lot of folks and whatnot. And, man, we really want to kind of hone in on an individual that's kind of been a part of this discussion for, from what we've come to discover, quite some little time now. But, who cares? Let's just talk about it. So, we're going to hone in on an individual, man. Alex Vitale, or however you pronounce it. We're probably doing it wrong, but, we don't do research or anything like that. That's your job. You're going to do it anyway. But, man, the point of this one is going to be Alex Vitale has some interesting thoughts and ideas when it comes down to a lot of things that are surrounding the defund the police kind of movement and everything like that. This individual's got some books under his belt. He, definitely has been speaking on the topic for a good little while. And, man, you might not wholeheartedly agree with, where the entire kind of, defund the police movement's going or anything like that, because it's funny. The minute that we heard anything about defund the police, it immediately started getting kind of reported on and, chatted about as disband the police. And individuals like us, we heard defund the police and we're like, hey, that's actually not a kind of bad way to go. But then people started saying, defund the police, so you're not going to have any police. Well, no, not disband the police, defund the police. There's an entirely huge difference on that. If you don't understand that, then, there's potentially something wrong with your train of thought on not understanding there's a difference between defunding and, disbanding altogether. So, what can aspects of the police department be, defunded versus, disbanding the entire thing? Well, there's a lot of things and such, and, we might make a video going on our thoughts and views on what, the police enforces, or at least police, forces enforce, in their communities and towns, and it's going to vary state by state, location by location, everything like that. We get that. Big city, versus small town, there are drastic differences in the way that, policing is used and, different things are enforced and everything like that. But, we'll tell you this much, the police force that we know and that we've experienced our entire lives and such, man, I mean, there is a huge amount of over policing that occurs. There's a huge amount of personal freedoms that are stepped on and infringed upon and stuff, whether, meant to be or not, or whether it's in, someone else's best interest, or what some, politician or authoritarian figure, deems to be in one's best interest. There's a lot of stuff, man, that, equates to over policing and enforcement of laws and bullshit that, shouldn't even think, like the war on drugs, for instance. You can't tell me that X amount of dollars are going to all these precincts and stuff, to fight unwinnable war on drugs. Now, that doesn't mean that you disband the entire police department. It means that you take those funds, first, you eliminate the war on drugs, obviously, to at least, one way, shape, or form, at least get all the states on the same page as far as, some of this other shit goes. You got half the country that, gets locked up for, carrying around a joint. You got the other half of the country that goes around smoking a joint and it don't matter. Stuff needs to be equated across the entire board, such as, the drinking age is 21. Why don't you just make smoking or crack cocaine or heroin use age 21? I don't know. Maybe you don't want to go that far, into legalizing or at least decriminalizing things like heroin. But, if you think about it, if heroin is so bad and pharmaceutical companies make stuff that is, equatable to heroin, what people use when they're, coming off of heroin withdrawals and stuff, and it's okay for pharmaceutical companies to, put this out on the market, and then you got all these pill heads and shit like that. There's a lot of stuff that could be revamped and tweaked and stuff, and, for reform, that is the biggest thing that needs to happen. Police reform needs to happen, whether you agree with, how you, split the funding one direction or another. One form of reform needs to happen in policing and such. And I think a lot of people can get on board and agree with that. Seems like the point of contention is, do we throw more money at the police to try and make things better, or do we reform the police, pull some of the squads, keep the sheriffs? Sheriffs can do, interstate travel and stuff like that. If you want to maintain some kind of war on drugs, protect it at our borders. There should be no internal, war on drugs within the United States, unless there's something that's like, super not good happening or something. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff to it, and we digress very, very far off the matter, because what we had first heard on the defund the police movement versus holy shit, it just warped into all of a sudden it was disband. If you wanted to defund any aspect of the police department or anything like that, then you're for disbanding them altogether. And folks like us, that's not the case at all. We're not stupid. We need police. There's no way around it. It is a great profession. They are great individuals that, enter the profession. Now, there's some bad eggs that enter it as well, but that's across the board in every single profession that, you could potentially dive into or, get into yourself. From education to construction to teaching, there's bad eggs across the board or whatever, there's teachers that, take advantage of, their students and things like that. There's, politicians and bosses that take advantage of, their subordinates. There's police officers that take advantage of the general public. Reform can happen across the board, in almost every single department. But Alex Vitale, back to, kind of the core thing. Holy shit, we're getting up there in time on this one. You're welcome. Free content. It sucks, but it's here. Alex Vitale has some really interesting thoughts and, ideas, when it comes to different things surrounding it. It is a hot point of contention on a lot of folks, but, I hate personally seeing a wedge divided immediately when someone says, I'm for defunding the police or looking into it, and then the immediate argument from, people is, oh, how are you going to do stuff without police? It's like, no, we're not eliminating the police. It's not getting rid of them altogether. It's defunding it and kind of tweaking where that money's going and such. You might not need, little narcotics division in a small rural town versus the size of a homicide division in a big major city. It doesn't equate. There's stuff that needs to be looked at and such, and it really comes down to individual communities and locations and such like that, because regionally there are a lot of different issues that are gonna kind of meld together to form the need of policing in an area and such. But, everyone knows that already. Go watch Alex Vitale do some talks or read his book or something. We haven't read his book, but we did see him talk once or twice. And, dude has some good, interesting points. Love him or hate him, agree with him or not. Let's get the conversation going. Mainly the conversation of you getting money, putting it in an envelope and sending it to us. Why? So that we can make stupid shit like this repetitiously. You're welcome. Alex Vitale, that we didn't even really talk about, having some interesting ideas. You get a good old-fashioned check. Check him out. Because he's way better than anything we got here. Man, 9 minutes. You're welcome. Have a good one. You probably didn't. We'll catch you next time. Probably won't.